My dear students in language schools, good evening everybody. Here we have to continue what we have started before about Qureo platform. We will discuss today the second part about functions. Now let's start. First, let's review what we have discussed about the functions last time. How to write a function that rounds the nearest to the whole number, how to write the functions that tell you the maximum and the minimum value, and how to write when create a function. Now, let's start with math round. It would be easier to understand if I called him Mr. Rounding. What is the output when I run this program? Console.log math.round 10.4. Is it 10 or 11? We have chosen 10 because the number after the point is less than 5. So the nearest whole number will be 10. And this is a correct answer. Now let's see how to write a program for Mr. Max who will return the maximum value when you pass an argument. Here we write console.log math .max 5, comma, let's see, and don't forget the semicolon as usual. Run code. Do we have problems? Yes. It will not accept any extra letters. Now run the code. Rate is 50. Now, without looking at an example, let's try the example that returns minimum value when an argument is passed, commonly known as minimum point. Output the minimum values of 5 and 50 to the console using the math.min function. Now, console.log math that means 5 and 50. Don't forget semicolon. Now run code, rate, the result will be 5. Now Mr. Rounding, Mr. Max, and Mr. Minimum boys programs are perfect. Finally, let's review how to create your own function. Hi, Mr. Sam. Let's try to create the following program. Create a function with the function name sum and the argument names num1 and num2. Assign num1 plus num2 to the variable result and then return the variable result. The program is called. Let's try. Here we put function. What is the name of the function? So I started with the keyword function, then the name of the function sum, then pass the arguments num1, comma num2. Don't forget the curly bracket. Let result equal num1 plus num2. Don't forget semicolon. Now return result. Here you run the code, great. But we don't see any output yet. Now pass the argument 10 to the program, the argument 10 and the argument 20 for num1 and num2, and then call it to output the console. Now complete the code, console.log sum of 10, 20, semicolon, and the code, great, and the result will be 30. Now I see that you have output of 30. Now check the key point for the first lesson, which was a review for the last part. The function to calculate rounding is written as math.round. The function that tells us the maximum value is written as math.max, and the minimum value math.min. To create function, write function name and then move to the argument name, then open curly brackets and in between write the actions or processing. Now continue to the next lesson. How to write function that truncate decimal. Do you know what is the meaning of truncate? Means to remove. Means to have the whole number without any decimals. If you pass an argument of float number, just like 5.5, the return will be 5. So we have to omit, to remove the numbers after the point, the decimal numbers. Here we will use the new function math.floor, and it is a function that rounds a number down to the nearest integer. We have to notice that even if the decimal is 0.5 or more, it will round down to 5. So whatever the number after the point, we will omit it. Even if it was 5.9, also we will remove the decimal and return the number 5. Now let's try. Run code without modifying the program. What happened? What is the result? The result is 5. Console.log math.learn and pass the argument of 5.5, then run the code. The result will be 5. Now I put a numerical value of 5.5 and it comes back to 5. Come to think of it, I have seen a similar function before. Yes, it's the function math.round. Didn't get the program also to return an integer when I gave it a numerical value? They are both the same. If you give it a numerical value, it will return an integer. But math.round and math.floor don't mean the same thing. Why? Because while you round, you can round numbers from 0 to 4, round down to 5, and numbers from 5 to 9 up, rounding up to 6. This is when we use round. But when we use floor, we only remove the decimal, the number after the point. Let's try. We have to use the same number for both functions and see the difference. Console.log math.round of 10.5. Don't forget semicolon. Now console.log math.floor of 10.5. Don't forget semicolon. Now let's run the code to see the difference. The round, when the number after the point is 5 and more, it will round the number to 11, but Fleur, when we use 10.5, it removes the number after the point, whatever it was. Now, pass the argument 7.8 to the function math.blur and output to the console. Now, console, log math.blur 7.8 and the code. Great. See the output? It is 7. Although 0.8 is greater than 5. The writing style is spot on. Function that truncate decimal is written as math.blur, and in between the brackets or the parentheses we pass the argument of a value. Now continue to the next lesson. The key points of lesson 3 is how to write a function and return a random value. So important we have to write a function to return a random value, and we will also discuss important points for the function that return a random value. I have introduced a function that rounds down decimal. Now let's introduce another new function. This function is called Mr. Random. Its real name is math.random. Random, yes, random. The function math.random returns a random value within defined range. So you have to give it the range that you want to randomize it. Let's try. Console.log math.random, and we will repeat it 3 times to see the different random that will be created. Now run the code. Have you noticed that these numbers are less than 1? The random values here will be between the numbers 0 and 1. The first number is 0.01600044502917742. The second will also 0.787648064667533, and the third one will be 0.693559573137714. Are they fixed? Are they permanent? Are they numbers that will appear each time? I don't think so. I got a different numerical value each time, so this is what we call random. But instead of numbers like 100 or 1000, it also returns decimal numbers. Good point. Actually, right. The function math.random will return a random numerical value greater than or equal to 0. So you see that the range is between 0 and 1. Not less than 0, not more than 1. By the way, sometimes this decimal point can be 20 or more digits. The number of digits returned is also random. Now we can apply here and let's see what the number will we get. If it's the same number as we see here, it will be the same number? I don't think so. Let's see math.random. You notice here also that we have not passed any arguments. Now run code. Great. the number is totally different. Not the same number. Not the same number. See? 0.220, 0.026. Be careful because this program, like the functions we have used so far, will also generate an error if M in math is not capitalized. Let's develop our app. If the randomly returned number is greater than or equal to 0.05, 0.5, it outputs lucky today. If not, it will output unlucky today. Let's see how we can code this. If math.random greater than or equal 0.5, we open the curly brackets and write console.log lucky today, else console.log unlucky today. You are using an if-else statement. Good job putting that right. That's the if randomly returned numerical value is greater than or equal 0.5. In this program, it's math.random greater than or equal 5. Complete the word in space. Math.random without arguments greater than or equal 0.5. Yes, great. And we got lucky today. Answer this question. How was your lucky today? I got an output of lucky today, sure. The key points of the lesson is that a function returns a random value is written as math.random. The function math.random returns a random numerical value greater than or equal to 0. Now continue to the next lesson. In lesson 4, we practice using function. We know how to use functions. I made a function telling the program the other day using math.random, but you said you could also make a raffle drawing, right? Let's hurry up and make one. Seems that Rick is very motivated. He loves the programming. Now, first app, first code. Create your program as follows. Call the function math.random and output to the console. Now, console.log math.random and don't forget semicolon. Now run the code. Great. It generates a random value. I have done this before, no problem. Well done. By the way, do you remember what range of numbers is output by math.random? Let's see our example. It returns decimal number like 0.52876903. The correct answer is you get back numerical value greater than or equal to 1. However, this output all zeros in one's place. What is the difficulty to understand at a glance? In the second step, let's multiply the output by 10 so we get greater numbers. Let's see. Console.log math.random multiply 10. So we get a random value that is less than 1 and multiply it by 10, and let's see the result. The result is a sample of output to 0.0675175, etc. Now let's try how we will write it. Now math dot random. The M is written in capital letters and R of random is written in small letters. Now parameter multiply 10. Let's see the result. Great. The result is 9.17170476220815. It's very large number. You have an output, a random numerical value between 1 and 10. Now, for the last step, use math.fleur combination to round down the first decimal place by multiplying by 10. 0.333 is output at 3.333, right? Yes, if you round down to the first decimal place, the number 3.333, you will get 3 only without all decimals. So how we will combine the two? Just enclose the program math.random multiply 10 with math.fleur. Let's write it while looking at the example. Console.log math.fleur of math.random multiply 10. So now math.random multiply 10. This is the last program. We will add here math.fleur. Run code. Great. And the result will be 2, only 2, without decimals. Output is an integer using a combination of functions like this is more convenient than using single function. Now, the summary of this lesson. Let's recap what you have learned in this lesson. Functions can be combined with other functions like math.random and math.fleur. Now it's time to go to review. We have 6 questions as usual. Let's start from the beginning. Select the correct program to output random numerical value. I want to output random numerical value. Option number 1, console.log random. Option number 2, console.log math.minimum. The first one, we have not a function called random without getting it from the library of math. We use the library of math to get the predefined functions of math like round, like min, like max, like round, like fleur, like random. All of these predefined functions must be preceded by math dot, because we get it from the math library. So option number 1 is not correct. The second option, console.log math.min. Now the question is asked you to output random numerical value, but math.min is used to get the minimum value of a range of values. From a range of values, you can get the minimum value. So option 2 is not correct. Now option 3 is the same to option 2. It will get the maximum value of a range of values. The last option is the correct one, console.log math.random without passing any arguments. So we will choose option number 4. Correct. Now question number 2. Select the correct function to truncate decimal. What we mean by truncate means here to remove. Console.log math.mean. This is not correct. Console.log math.floor. Yes, this is the right option, so option number 2 is the correct answer. The other choices, math.max and math.round, aren't used for getting the decimal after truncate. Means now to get the second option as the correct answer. Select the output results of the following program: console.log, math.floor, and we pass the argument of 7.7. Now the correct value is 8. No. So why the correct value is not number 1? Because floor is not rounding a value, is not rounding the value up to the nearest whole integer. It truncates the decimal. No output. This is not correct. And 7 is the right answer. Now let's see. Very good. It is correct. Now question number 4. Enter the program as follows. Use function to round off 5.5 output to the console, and use the function to round down 8.8 to the nearest whole number. Use function math.floor and math.round. Console.log math.floor 5.5. Don't forget semicolon. Console.log math.round of 8.8 semicolon. Is it correct? It is not correct because I use small m. Now let's correct. Try again. Yes, 5 and 9. Answer. What make it wrong? When we say back to the question, it's it round off and round down. I want here to round down, not round up. So I must use floor here to round down, to let 8.8 be 8. Round down, not round up. So we should use the opposite case. How we could correct the answer? Replace round by floor and floor by round. Yes, round 8.8 is not correct. The correct answer will be 8.8 in floor. And round off will be here. Math.round 5.5. Now to the next question. Create a program that outputs excellent blank if random numerical value is greater than or equal to 5 and bad luck otherwise. Now use the function math.random greater than or equal to 0.5. What will happen? Let's run the code. Excellent luck. See the answer? Yes, it is correct. Now next to the last one. Create a program that returns a random integer. Use the math random to return a random numerical value. Multiply the randomly returned number by 10 and use function math floor to return an integer. Now math.floor math.random multiply 10. We combine here the function math.fleur and math.random. Now run the code. The result will be 2. Answer. This is correct. Now go to the result. We missed a question because of fleur and round. Go to results. So what can we review again? Yes, you can review. You can if you have errors, you can review again and start from beginning again. Now let's try. Okay, the first answer with math.random answer. The second one with option 4. Question number 4. Use the function to round off 5.5 and output to the console. Use the function to round down. Notice here, round down 8.8 to the nearest whole number and output to the console. Here, the question is to use the function math.fleur and math.round. Console, plug math.fleur 8.8. Don't forget semicolon. Run the code 6 and 8. Now answer. The question is correct. So when he tell me round off, I use the function round. When he tell me round up or down, I use round. But to round 8.8, round down 8.8 means I should not round it to 9, I should round it to 8, so I must use fleur because fleur truncate the decimal. This question, create a program that output excellent luck if the random numerical value is greater than or equal to 5 and bad luck otherwise. Use math.random and enter conditional expression if the random value is greater than or equal to 0.5. Not here, greater than or equal. Now run code, excellent luck, answer, correct. Now moving to the last question. Create a program that returns a random integer as follows. Use the function math.random to return random numerical value. Multiply the randomly returned numerical value by 10. Then use the function math.fleur to return an integer. The program in one line. So math.fleur, I combine it with math.random. Then I here create a random value, so I must multiply it by 10. Now run the code. The result is 8 without any decimal. Answer. This is the correct result. Now go to the result. Excellent. We have completed the review by answering correct 6 lessons. This is the end of function chapters. We hope that you understood well, and I hope that you are doing well in your exam. Thank you very much for following and understanding. Until we meet again, goodbye everybody.